She danced the tango that changed everything, how a poor waitress exposed a millionaire's heart, in the heart of Chicago, amid the clatter of dishes and the lure of greasy scents, she danced with a grace that could shake the foundations of the world. Clara, a 32-year-old waitress with dreams locked deep within her soul, weaved through the bustling diner like a melody, creating harmony amidst the chaos of late-night orders. Each night, she served plates with a smile, a beacon of resilience and hope in a place where both were scarce. But on that fateful evening, something magical was about to ignite. Enter Thomas, a weary businessman escaping the weight of his own expectations. Dazed by the city lights, he stumbled into Clara's world, looking for more than just a midnight meal. Their exchanges were polite yet shallow, two worlds barely intersecting. But as the soft melodies began to swirl through the diner, Clara felt a spark stir within her. The music beckoned, and without thinking, she began to dance the tango, taking flight from her heart, embodying unsung dreams and unspoken desires. In that moment, she became a whirlwind of color and life, her body expressing what words could never convey. For Thomas, it was as if the diner had transformed into a stage, the patrons mere shadows, while Clara radiated light. He stared, caught off guard, captivated by this woman who spun joy from hardship. She danced not just for him, but for every struggle faced in the diner, each step, a testament to resilience. As her tango reached its crescendo, gasps filled the room. A stranger's world collided with hers, and for just a heartbeat, their souls spoke a language only they could understand. But reality returned quickly, shattering the illusion. Clara, panting, felt the weight of judgment from her community. Whispers of disapproval clouded her heart. How could she, a waitress from a low-income neighborhood, befriend a man like Thomas? Through the haze of uncertainty, a fire began to stir in Thomas as well. Behind his polished suit and corporate dreams lay a longing for connection that wealth could never satisfy. Clara's dance had ignited a curiosity within him. Could there be more to life than just numbers? Yet, fear of societal expectations tugged at both their hearts. Clara wrestled with feelings of inadequacy, and Thomas fought against the cold reality of his affluent upbringing. Their budding bond faced a dreadful miscommunication, creating a chasm between them. Clara, feeling rejected, struggled to find her footing. Loneliness cloaked her as she carried on with life, caring for her son and juggling multiple jobs in a place where hope was as fleeting as the last cup of coffee brewed. But darkness loomed closer when the diner faced closure, an anchor of her community threatened to vanish. Panic set in. Clara's spirit surged once more, rallying her neighbors. Together, they were more than just patrons, they were a family united by dreams, hopes, and shared laughter. In that collective strength, Clara found her voice again. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let us continue. Just as Clara began organizing the community gathering to save their beloved diner, her phone buzzed. It was Thomas, eager to support her cause, but the anxiety bubbled to the surface. How could she let him stand beside her when insecurities threatened to drown her dreams? As Clara prepared to face them, the diner door opened with a creak. In walked Thomas, determination reflected in his eyes. In that breathless moment, the air thickened with unsaid words, and Clara's heart raced. Would she be able to bridge the divide between them? Would they find a way to fight for their common ground, despite everything? The future hung delicately in the balance, waiting for Clara to take the next step. Clara's heart pounded like a drum, each beat echoing the dance she had performed just moments before. Thomas stood there, his gaze steady and warm, cutting through her fear like a knife through soft butter. The diner's lights flickered above them, illuminating the myriad of faces watching their silent, electric exchange. The moment stretched, heavy with unspoken thoughts. Clara could see shadows of doubt lingering in the corners of Thomas's eyes, much like her own insecurities. With a deep breath, she straightened her back, willing herself to remember the spark that ignited her dance. It was more than just a performance, it was a promise to herself that she wouldn't let fear dictate who she could be. Thomas, she broke the silence, her voice steady despite the butterflies in her stomach. Thank you for coming. His smile was tentative, yet genuine. I couldn't just sit back and watch. I want to help. His words snatched away some of the weight pressing on her chest. They were both eager to fight for something greater, yet the reality of their lives kept threatening to pull them apart. As they gathered the community for the meeting, Clara felt the familiar warmth swell inside her. The diner, once just a place to work, had transformed into a sanctuary. Neighbors filtered in, their faces bright with hope. Clara moved among them, greeting each with a smile and soft words of encouragement. She could feel the energy buzzing, it invigorated her spirit. Even as they set chairs up into a circle, doubt lingered like a shadow just out of sight. What if they don't believe we can save it? Clara confided in Thomas, her voice just above a whisper. They will believe it, Clara, he replied, confidence bubbling up in his tone. You've already shown them the power of your dance. Let us show them this too. As the meeting began, Clara took center stage in her own right. She looked around the room, locking eyes with familiar faces filled with concern. This diner is our home, she started, her voice trembling but gaining strength with each word. It's where we gather, where we share our joys and burdens. We can't let it slip away. Applause erupted. It shattered the weight of worry clinging to the room. Energized by the crowd's support, Clara glanced over at Thomas. He was watching her intently, pride washing over his features. In that moment, she realized he saw her for who she truly was, not just a waitress but a protector of her community. As ideas began to flow, from hosting fundraisers to reaching out for local support, Clara felt her earlier fears fade. Every suggestion from her neighbors reinforced her belief that together they could truly save the diner. Yet, amidst the camaraderie and encouragement, Clara couldn't shake the feeling that more was at stake than just the diner. Later that evening, as members began to trickle out, Thomas lingered. What's next for you? He asked, his voice soft yet probing. Clara froze, the weight of his question pressing heavily against her chest. For so long, her dreams had been buried beneath the weight of reality. She had been a mother, a waitress, a dancer. But what about Clara, the woman who dared to dream beyond the diner? I don't know, she admitted, her breath catching. What if this is all I'm meant to do? Thomas stepped closer, his eyes searching hers. What if it isn't? In that moment, Clara felt a shift inside her, a subtle shift that screamed for something more. Could she dare to reach beyond her current life? What would that mean for not just her, but for her son, for Thomas? As the night deepened, so too did her uncertainty. There was a path ahead, wild and uncertain, and Clara stood at its precipice. Would she find the courage to leap, to embrace the unknown alongside Thomas, or would fear chain her down once again? The question lingered, a silent promise in the air, and Clara felt the stirrings of hope fighting to break free. Would she choose to dance once more, this time towards destiny itself? The following day dawned crisp and bright, the sun peeking through Clara's kitchen window, casting playful patterns on the worn table. She sat there, a cup of coffee cradled in her hands, staring into the swirling depths of the darkness within. The community meeting had brought a flicker of hope, but the weight of uncertainty still pressed on her chest like a heavy quilt. What am I really doing? She muttered softly, shaking her head as if to dislodge the thoughts clinging tightly. Her son, Lucas, burst into the room, all energy and dark curls. He was oblivious to the tug-of-war happening inside her mind. Mom! I have an idea for the fundraiser! He exclaimed, eyes sparkling with excitement. Clara's heart warmed at his enthusiasm. What is it, buddy? What if we have a talent show? Everyone in town could show off their skills. Grandma could bake pies, Mr. Jenkins can juggle, and I can do my magic tricks. His breathless chatter filled the small space, cutting through the fog of doubt that enshrouded Clara. A talent show, she mused, a tentative smile creeping onto her face. That's a great idea. We can showcase everyone's talents and bring the community together. And maybe some local businesses would sponsor us. Yes. And we can sell tickets to raise money. Lucas clapped his hands together, entirely oblivious to the fear Clara had felt just hours before. The idea began to blossom in Clara's mind, feeding off her son's excitement. The diner was their heartbeat, but the community? They were the lifeblood. This could be the spark they needed, not just to save the diner, but to ignite a sense of purpose and belonging among everyone. After breakfast, Clara grabbed her notebook and headed to the diner, filling its familiar walls with her determined energy. She could already picture how the talent show would unfold, artists performing on the floor where she had danced just the night before. Imagining the laughter, the joy, and the countless stories shared under the diner's roof filled her with an undeniable fire. As she entered, Thomas was already there, busily sprucing up tables and stacking chairs. He looked up, his expression shifting to one of curiosity as Clara approached. "I think I have an idea," she said, the words tumbling out before she could second-guess them. "A talent show. We can showcase the community's skills, bring everyone together, and raise money for the diner." "What a fantastic idea!" Thomas responded, his smile infectious. "We can use my connections to reach out to local businesses. They may want to sponsor it or donate prizes. Plus, I could help with organizing the performances." "Really?" Clara's heart soared, a combination of gratitude and excitement washing over her. This was exactly the kind of collaboration she needed. They moved into planning mode, throwing ideas back and forth, laughter bubbling up between them like soda fizzing over. Each suggestion sparked more, lighting up the air around them until other employees chipped in. Clara felt their collective ambition swirling, a comforting embrace that pushed her fears aside. But just as the smiles spread around the diner, her thoughts drifted to what Thomas had asked her the night before. His voice echoed in her mind, what if it isn't? What if this talent show wasn't just about saving the diner? What if it could be the first step in discovering who she truly was? As she left the diner that evening, a strange mixture of excitement and trepidation fluttered in her stomach. She was on the brink of something bigger than just a fundraiser, she could feel it. The notion of stepping into her own, finding courage beyond performance and expectation still lingered. But would she have the strength to follow through on this momentum, to truly embrace the changes ahead? The stars twinkled overhead like distant dreams, yet her path remained shrouded in uncertainty. Clara took a deep breath. "This is just the beginning," she whispered to herself, determined to seize whatever came next. And with that thought lingering in her mind, she stepped forward into the wild unknown, ready for whatever awaited her on the other side of this journey. What she didn't expect, however, was the storm that would soon arrive, testing everything she had built. The next morning, the world felt different to Clara. The sun was bright and the air held a promise she couldn't ignore. Sitting at her kitchen table, she couldn't help but visualize the talent show. Every moment spent organizing and planning connected her to the community in a way she hadn't felt in a long time. And yet, a flutter of anxiety still danced in her stomach. Lucas bounded in, his excitement spilling into the room. "Mom! Can we make flyers today? I want everyone to know about the show." "Absolutely." Clara's heart surged with joy at his enthusiasm. "Let us make them colorful. We want everyone to see how fun this will be." As they gathered supplies, Clara could feel a spark igniting in her chest. It wasn't just about raising money anymore. It was about bringing their world back together, piece by piece. Once they arrived at the diner, the air hummed with activity. Employees unpacked boxes and moved tables, the laughter and chatter flowing like the coffee that Clara poured. Thomas was already at the front, setting up a small performance area where the magic would happen. "Morning, superstar," he called, his eyes flashing with determination. "Ready to spread the word?" "More than ready. I'm excited to see who will sign up." Clara smiled back, her hands trembling slightly, filled with nervous energy. They spent the morning creating vibrant flyers, each one splashed with bright colors and bold letters, inviting the entire town to participate. Clara found herself lost in memories of past community events, the laughter, the friendships, the sense of belonging. That sense was returning, and it felt like a warm embrace. As the flyers began to find their way onto lampposts and shop windows around town, Clara's hope blossomed. But with each printed flyer, her thoughts slipped back to what Thomas had said about the depth of their endeavor. What if this was more than a fundraiser? "Clara, look!" Lucas shouted, pulling her from her thoughts. "People are already signing up. Mr. Jenkins wants to juggle, and Mrs. Davis is going to sing." A wave of elation washed over Clara. "This is amazing. We're really doing it." They spent the rest of the day gathering names, listening to ideas that flowed like notes in a song. The chatter and excitement were magnetic. But as evening turned to night, Clara couldn't shake a heaviness that lingered. Secrets had broken the night open, the kind you could only feel when the sun dipped below the horizon. Back at home, Clara tucked Lucas into bed, his eyelids drooping under the weight of happiness. As she kissed him goodnight, she knew tomorrow would bring more challenges. Later, wrapped in her blanket with the quiet of the house settling around her, Clara's mind raced. What would happen when the night of the talent show arrived? Would all these dreams materialize, or would they crumble under the weight of reality? The warming glow of the lamp cast shadows on the walls, and Clara's thoughts swirled to the impending storm. Just then, a sudden knock resonated from the front door. Her heart skipped a beat. Who could it be at this time? With hesitant footsteps, she opened the door, and there stood someone she didn't expect, someone who held a piece of a complex puzzle that could change everything. "Hi, Clara," said the familiar voice, "I think we need to talk." What could they possibly want to discuss now, on the brink of everything she had worked toward? Clara's breath hitched as she stared at the figure in the doorway. It was Emily, her old friend from high school, and her heart raced at the sudden surge of past memories. They had been inseparable once, sharing laughter and dreams beneath the stars. But life had swept them along different paths, and now, standing there, Emily looked a bit worn but determined. "Clara, can we sit?" Emily asked, her voice tinged with urgency. With a nod, Clara stepped aside, letting her in. The familiar sense of home, fresh coffee, warm bread swirled around them, a stark contrast to the tension hanging in the air. Clara guided Emily to the couch, her mind whirling with questions. "What is going on?" Clara asked, trying to mask her concern. "You didn't call ahead." Emily took a deep breath. "I know this is sudden, but I saw the flyers. I heard about the talent show. I think it's important that we talk about our past." Clara's heart sank. She could feel memories bubbling to the surface, memories of the storm that had torn their friendship apart years ago. "Emily, I thought we moved past all that." "We did, but maybe we need to face it again," Emily said, sadness in her eyes. "There are pieces of our lives that haven't fit together since that night. And I believe it could affect the show. You need to know." Clara's breath quickened, confusion and dread swirling inside her. "What do you mean?" Emily leaned closer, her voice barely above a whisper. "What if I told you I have something that could change everything for you and Lucas, but it's tangled up in our history?" Clara felt a chill run down her spine. "What are you talking about?" Before Emily could respond, her phone buzzed, breaking the thick silence. Clara glanced at the screen, an urgent message from Thomas. "Clara, we need you at the diner. There's an issue with the venue." "Just a second," Clara replied, turning back to Emily. But she could see the uncertainty in her friend's face. "Clara, please." Emily's gaze shifted between the floor and Clara. The talent show could be more than just a fundraiser. It could heal the very wounds we've been ignoring if you let it. Clara's heart pulled in different directions, between urgency and curiosity. Was this just a distraction? Or a chance for resolution? Emily, I can't think about that right now. I need to help with the show, Clara said, her voice firm. Just consider this, Emily pressed. It might be the key to making everything work. I can explain later. Please promise me you'll listen. Clara nodded slowly, her mind still racing as she recalled the excitement earlier, the names, the laughter, the chance to reconnect with the community. Could their past truly hold a vital piece of this puzzle? I promise, Clara responded, her voice softer now. She could feel the weight of the moment. Now go, Emily urged. You have a show to put together. As Clara rushed out the door, another flutter of anxiety gripped her heart. What if their shared history held secrets she wasn't prepared to face? And what could Emily really reveal that would impact her life and Lucas's so profoundly? Entering the diner, the bustle enveloped her. Yet the warmth of the place faded under the shadows of uncertainty. Thomas spotted her, his face etched with concern. Clara. Thank God you're here. There's something we need to figure out. What is it? Clara asked, bracing herself. Just come with me, he insisted, pushing through the crowd. Clara's breath quickened once more, deeply aware that her previous worries couldn't compare to whatever was waiting for her. In that moment, every ounce of joy felt precariously balanced on a knife's edge. What lay ahead could change everything, and Clara found herself wondering just how far she would go to protect what mattered most. Was she prepared for the revelations that awaited her, waiting just around the corner? The diner bustled with activity, the clinking of plates and the sizzle of the grill filling the air, but Clara felt like she was moving in slow motion. The vibrant atmosphere faded into a hazy backdrop as Thomas led her through the throng of patrons. Her heart raced at the thought of what they were about to face. What is going on? She asked again, concern lacing her words. Thomas shook his head, his brow furrowed. It's about the venue. Remember the old theater we were hoping to use? There's been a last-minute complication. They might not let us hold the talent show there after all. Clara's stomach sank. They had invested so much time, hope, and effort into this event. What do you mean might not? Thomas stopped in front of the counter, his voice low. They got a bigger offer for that night from a corporate event. They're debating whether to cancel us. We need to convince them we're worth it, and we don't have much time. Clara bit her lip, her mind racing. How can we convince them? We don't have the resources they're looking for. We need to give them something, he said, desperation creeping into his voice. If we can show them a preview of the talent, something that gets them excited about our show, it might change their minds. Can we put together a quick showcase? Clara's heart fluttered at the prospect, but doubt settled in her chest. But we're not ready. We don't even know who will perform. Exactly, Thomas replied, urgency flooding his voice. That's where you come in. You know the performers better than anyone. We have to find a way to rally them together, even for a few minutes on short notice. As he spoke, Clara felt the clouds of uncertainty start to lift, replaced by a spark of determination. Okay. Let us gather everyone we can. I'll make a few calls. Maybe we can organize something in the park. Great. The sooner, the better, Thomas said, giving her a reassuring smile. The weight on his shoulders seemed to lighten, and Clara felt the pull of possibility begin to hum in her veins. Just as Thomas turned to head back into the busy kitchen, Clara's phone buzzed again. She glanced at the screen, and her heart skipped when she saw Emily's name. What the she muttered under her breath, swiping to answer. Clara. You have to come back. Emily's voice rang with urgency, and Clara's spine straightened. I found something about that night, the night everything fell apart for us. I think you need to know. It's important. Clara hesitated, caught between the weight of Emily's words and the pressing matter of saving the show. I can't right now. I'm in the diner. Clara, it's about Lucas, Emily interrupted, her voice trembling slightly. You need to hear this. Please. It might change everything for you, and it connects with the show. The mention of Lucas sent a jolt through Clara. Her heart raced for an entirely different reason now, the weight of those unspoken secrets clawing at her. Had Emily uncovered something that would affect their relationship? Or worse, the show? I promise I'll come back as soon as I can, Clara said, swallowing hard. But I can't leave. The show needs me. Then at least stay on the line while you gather the performers, Emily pleaded. I'll tell you what I found while you work. Typing out a quick message to the performers in her contacts, Clara managed to reply, okay, but you need to tell me everything. And fast. As the two women spoke, sharing bits of their lives and laughter amidst the chaos, Clara felt a strange sense of hope building inside her. Maybe there was a way to fuse their past with their present, a way to heal those wounds after all. But in the back of her mind, worry gnawed at her. What if what Emily revealed destroyed the already fragile balance of their lives? Gripping the phone tightly, uncertainty flooded over her. Could they truly turn the tide at the theater while facing the ghosts of what once was? The clock was ticking, and Clara couldn't shake the feeling that all of it, the show, her relationship with Lucas, and her bond with Emily, it all hinged on the choices they made next. Would they be able to stitch together the pieces of their lives, or would the past forever overshadow their future? Clara swept through the diner, her phone pressed against her ear as she attempted to juggle the chaos of her thoughts. Distant laughter and the hum of conversation faded away as Emily's voice anchored her focus. Okay, I'll call Jamie and Lexi, Clara said quickly, sparking a plan to gather the talent. But tell me, what did you find out about Lucas? There was a moment of hesitation on the other end. I think we may have been wrong about what happened. It wasn't just a misunderstanding. It was all connected to that night. Clara's pulse quickened. Connected how? I need specifics here, Em. Just give me a second, Emily replied, her voice cracking. I found a notebook. It was hidden in our old rehearsal space. Lucas wrote about that night. About everything. Clara stopped in her tracks. Memories of their rehearsals flooded her mind, sweaty hands gripping the banister, Lucas's infectious laughter, the way he lit up the stage. Emily, you're saying he knew something? Something he didn't tell us? Exactly. He mentioned something about a deal, something that changed everything. Clara, if he was involved, it could explain why he left. A rush of emotions surged through Clara, anger, confusion, and an irritating flicker of hope. Did that mean Lucas hadn't abandoned them on purpose? What if it has to do with the show? What if we can use that information? Maybe, Emily said cautiously, if we approach this delicately. Real lives are at stake. It could hurt him all over again. Clara felt a knot tighten in her stomach. She understood Emily's concern but couldn't shake the feeling that the malevolence of those years could be the key to unlocking the future. But it also means we're fighting for something more than just a show, Em. We're trying to reclaim our past. Uncertainty swirled in her mind, a tempest of emotions as she envisioned the talent showcase, each face reflecting the struggles and joys they had shared. What if they rocked the stage with something raw, something that pulled at the strings of their community? Could they convince the theater they were worth the sacrifice? The door creaked open, and in walked Jamie and Lexi, their faces a blend of curiosity and encouragement. Clara waved them over, her heart pounding as she gathered her thoughts, ready to pitch the idea of a last-minute showcase. First things first, Clara said into the phone, her tone firm. Let us convince the theater. Gather the performers, we need to do this quickly. I can't talk to Lucas knowing I didn't try to save the show, our show. All right, I can handle that, Emily agreed. But don't forget to breathe. Sending chaos and courage your way. Clara hung up, determination settling in her bones as she turned to Jamie and Lexi. "We're gathering everyone for a park showcase. We have to do it today, and I need your help to rally the rest." Both of them exchanged glances, their eyes lighting up. "Are we creating magic?" Lexi mused excitedly, while Jamie added, "I knew you'd come up with something." "More than magic," Clara said, her voice steadying, "we might just be saving our future. Let us make this happen." As the trio dashed around the diner, knocking on doors and sending texts, Clara felt the thrill of possibility surging through her once more. Underneath the stress, a strange warmth began to unravel her fears. She was no longer worried about the past, unearthing those secrets felt vital now. But as feelings collided with determination, the looming specter of her unresolved feelings for Lucas shadowed her thoughts. Should they unravel those strings first or channel their energy into the show? Amidst the chaos of her busy heart, another message pinged on her phone. It was from Emily. "Clara, I just found something else, something I didn't expect. You need to see this ASAP." Clara's breath hitched in her throat. What did Emily discover now? Would that change everything again, or would it tear apart the fragile web they were weaving between their past and their future? She had fought to reclaim their lives, but what awaited her could alter the course entirely. Clara barely had time to process Emily's cryptic message before the world around her started to blur. The busy diner, with its sticky floors and clinking dishes, felt like a distant memory. She was jostled back to her senses by Jamie's voice, intertwining excitement and concern. "Clara, should we start making playlists or announce it on social media?" Jamie asked, leveling a gaze filled with energy. Lexi chimed in, "We need to find a place, too. Maybe the park by the fountain. Perfect for a spontaneous crowd." "Right. Let us do both," Clara said, snapping into action. The words hung in the air, the urgency cooking their passion like fire to a flame. "But first, I need to see what Emily found. It could be key for our pitch." As Clara rushed outside, the cool breeze hit her face, grounding her amidst the whirlwind. She scanned her messages, heart thumping. The latest read, "Meet me at the rehearsal space. That notebook has more than you think." "Hey! Where are you going?" Lexi shouted, concern knitting her brow. "I'll be right back." Clara yelled back, already moving towards the old theater, its faded posters peeling off the walls like a skin shedding. Every step ignited memories, the hollow echoes of laughter and dreams flooding her mind. When she reached the rehearsal space, the door creaked ominously, revealing a realm both familiar and foreign. Dust motes floated in fractured light, whispering secrets through the silence. Emily was sitting cross-legged on the floor, a stack of paper spread out before her. "Clara," Emily said, her voice shaky as she clutched a page to her chest. "You won't believe what I found. I think Lucas was trying to protect us. He had a plan." "What kind of plan?" Anxiety clawed at Clara as she knelt beside her friend. Emily hesitated, and it made the air thick with tension. "He was in talks with a major producer that night. A deal for us, something that could have changed everything." Emily gestured to the worn pages. Clara's heart raced. Lucas had been their dreamer, their guiding star. What did this mean now? Clara leaned closer, instinctively reaching for the notebook. It was ancient and crumbled but still held Lucas's distinct script. "He thought he could save us from the fallout, the failures. He never meant to hurt us." A cascade of emotions washed over Clara. Could Lucas have been fighting for them all along? That thought sparked a fire within her. "If he was trying to protect us, we need to tell the others. We can't just walk away." Emily nodded. "But we have to approach this carefully. We don't know how Lucas will react. It's raw. It's personal. Can we risk opening old wounds?" Clara paused, considering the weight of their revelations. She sensed the stakes, yet something flickered in her heart, a blend of hope and determination. "We're not just doing this for the show anymore. We're doing it for him, for us." The truth is what will set us free. With a newfound resolve, Clara grabbed the notebook and tucked it under her arm. Let us get back to the diner. Rally the team. We need to plan our next steps together. As they made their way out, a sudden wave of dread clawed at Clara's throat. What if this all ruins him again? Emily sighed, her eyes filled with empathy. We'll have to face that. But we can't let fear dictate our actions. Lucas deserves to know he was never alone in this. Clara's heart fluttered with unspoken emotions. She glanced at Emily, then back at the notebook, sensing the enormity of their quest collapsing into one crucial moment. What if revealing the hidden truths brought Lucas back into their lives? Would their fragile hopes weave deeper connections, or would it push him away just like before? As they stepped back into the electric atmosphere of the diner, Clara's thoughts spiraled. Secrets had a way of breaking free, just like the friendships that had tethered them all. But as the door swung shut behind them, another ping echoed on Clara's phone, catching her breath once more. Clara, meet me at the park. I found even more and it's bigger than we thought. Her heart thundered. What awaited them? The stakes had risen once more, and Clara couldn't shake the feeling that everything was about to change again. Clara's pulse raced as she read the message. The park? Why would someone call her there? It felt like a trap, wrapped in uncertainty. Tucking the notebook tightly against her side, she turned to Emily. We need to go. Now. Emily nodded, her face pale but resolute. Let us hope it's good news. They hurried through the streets, the sun hanging low, casting long shadows that felt like memories chasing them. Clara's mind raced with questions: who was waiting at the park? What more could there possibly be? Every step felt weighted with the gravity of unseen possibilities. When they reached the park, the fountain glimmered in the afternoon light, its waters dancing in a rhythmic splash. Clara felt her heart lift but flutter with anxiety. Could this be the turning point they needed? Over there, Emily pointed, directing Clara's attention to Lucas, who stood by a bench, looking contemplative. The sight of him made Clara's breath catch. He was so familiar yet distant, a ghost of their shared dreams. What is going on? She asked, urgency spilling from her voice as they closed the gap. Clara, Emily, Lucas greeted them, his tone measured. He glanced at the notebook in Clara's hands, curiosity peeking through. I heard you found something. Clara took a deep breath, her mind racing as she thought of how to start. Lucas, we discovered your notes. You were working on something big for us to protect us. His brow furrowed, confusion clouding his eyes, but it quickly melted into something deeper: vulnerability. You shouldn't have seen that, shouldn't he? Clara interrupted, her resolve firm. You were trying to shield us from failure. We have a chance here to reclaim what we lost. You fought for us. Don't you want to see this through? There was a silence, thick with unspoken words. Clara's heart thundered louder as she searched Lucas's face for any hint of agreement. The weight of each second felt heavy, unbearable. I did it, for the right reasons, but I didn't want to bring you in on it. I thought it would be better that way, he said finally, regret weaving through his words. I just wanted to keep you safe. Safe? Or isolated? Emily chimed in, her voice steady. We've been doing this together for years. You weren't alone, Lucas. You never were. Clara could feel the tension electrifying the air around them. The park, which had once felt like a place for hope, transformed into a battleground of emotions. Her chest tightened with each word exchanged. Would it break them apart more than heal? Can we move forward? Clara pleaded. We have a chance to present a united front. Let us not waste it. Lucas nodded his fingers, his gaze falling to the ground. I'm scared, Clara. I don't want to lose you again, like before. But Clara took a step closer, her voice softening. You won, I promise. We're stronger together. If we lay the truth bare, nothing can tear us apart again. For a moment, it felt like time stood still. Clara yearned for Lucas to understand the power of collaboration, of friendship blossoming into something deeper. But she needed to see real acknowledgement in his eyes. "I need time to think," Lucas whispered. A shadow crossed his face, blocking the light in Clara's heart. "Time? How much time?" Emily's voice cracked like ice. "We can't wait forever." Clara felt the ground shift beneath her. Would they lose this moment? Lucas needed to make a decision, and she couldn't fight against the currents of the past forever. Before she could voice her worries, her phone chirped again, the sharp sound slicing through the tension. Another message blinked on the screen: "Clara, meet me at the edge of the park. I found something urgent." Her heart sank. What more could possibly come to light? As she exchanged glances with Lucas, hope battled anxiety. Would the next revelation shatter everything, or knit them back together? Clara took a step forward, a mix of determination and apprehension swirling within her. She knew that every decision from here on shaped the future not only for her, but for all of them. What awaited them at the edge of the park? Would it be the push they desperately needed, or the final straw that would tear them apart for good? As Clara turned toward the source of the new message, a question loomed large: could love truly conquer all? Clara's heart raced as she approached the park's edge, anxiety clawing at her insides. The last message weighed on her mind. What could be so urgent? Lucas and Emily remained glued to her side, a mix of hope and dread hanging in the air. "It's not just about the show anymore, is it?" Emily murmured, taking a deep breath. Clara nodded silently. This was more than just saving the diner. It was about healing, about embracing the truth even if it felt painful. As Clara turned the final corner, she spotted Thomas standing there, a familiar flicker of determination lighting his eyes. "Clara!" he called, relief washing over his features. "I was hoping I'd catch you." "What is it, Thomas?" Clara pressed, urgency scrawled across her brow. He glanced at Lucas and Emily before focusing on her. "We've got a potential corporate sponsor for the talent show, a chance for serious funding." But he hesitated, his voice dropping. "They want a private preview tonight. They're deciding between us and another venue." Clara felt her stomach drop. "That's incredible, but we're not ready. We barely defined our acts." "Exactly," Thomas agreed, his eyes shining with possibility. "That's why we need to pull together everything. You, Lucas, and everyone else, all those talents. We need a raw showcase." Amidst this whirlwind, Clara sensed a shimmering thread connecting all of them. Maybe they didn't have everything planned, but they had heart. "Then let us do it," Clara declared, her voice rising above the chatter of the park. "We can't let this opportunity slip away. Let us show them what we can do." "No rehearsal, though," Lucas said, his voice laced with uncertainty. "What if it all falls flat?" Clara reached out, gripping his arm. "We've faced worse. This is our moment to transform fear into art. If we face this together, we can show them our community, our spirit." Their eyes met, and she could see Lucas's uncertainty melting away under the warmth of her conviction. It was like a dawn breaking, revealing the path ahead. Emily stepped forward, a spark igniting within her. "I'll gather the performers and spread the word. Everyone deserves a chance to show their passion." As Clara watched her friends leap into action, she felt the weight of hidden dreams lifting. They were all in this together, ready to fight for each other and their community. The minutes turned into a frenzy of activity. Encouraged by Clara's conviction, word spread like wildfire through the streets. Her neighbors, once hesitant, began stepping forward. They shared stories, talents, hopes, and laughter, filling the park with a vibrant energy. "Remember, no perfection. Just passion," Clara reminded them as she stood before a growing crowd. It wasn't just a talent show, it was a celebration of who they were. Amidst the gathering excitement, Clara's heart swelled with joy. She spotted Lucas mingling with performers, easing into conversation with a tentative laugh. Emily was organizing chairs, a determined light shining in her eyes. For the first time in what felt like forever, Clara felt connected to her community in ways she didn't know how to articulate. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over everything, a sense of peace enveloped Clara. She took a moment to breathe, smiling at Thomas across the crowd. He returned a nod, a shared understanding that they had created something beautiful together. Finally, as the time drew closer for the preview, Clara knew this was their turning point. They stood on the precipice of something great, and she could see it in every face around her. They had shared heartache, laughter, and now, a collective pulse of hope threaded through them. The evening unfolded like a beautiful tapestry of stories and dreams, with each performance revealing the soul of their community. Clara felt alive amidst the laughter and applause, reaffirming not just their place but their potential. When it was Lucas's turn to perform, Clara held her breath, her heart in her throat as he stepped forward. He took a deep breath, anxiety written on his features, but Clara smiled encouragingly. "You got this." He started slow, his movements deliberate. But as the music swelled, the rhythm transformed his fear into power. He danced like he was reclaiming parts of his soul, parts he had tucked away for everyone's sake. Every step spoke volumes, resonating with raw emotion as Clara felt the urge to join him somehow. Somewhere in the midst of the performance, Lucas' eyes found Clara's, and in that moment, she saw clarity reflected back. It was a promise they could face the past together and dare to dream together. When he finished, the crowd erupted, cheering as Clara rushed to embrace him. The weight of the past had lifted, replaced by a tangible bond that tied them not just as friends, but as family. As they left the stage, Clara turned to Thomas and Emily, gratitude flooding her heart. "We did it. This is just the beginning," she said, her voice choked with emotion. Together, Emily smiled, her eyes sparkling. Clara beamed at Lucas, who stood there, breathless and alive. Their shared history had led them here, but it was the truth that set them free. They were ready to face whatever lay ahead, unshackled from their fears. They stepped into the night, hand in hand, embracing their stories and each other. And in that moment, Clara knew they were a family forged in dreams, ready to navigate the wild unknown together. So, to all of you out there, don't hesitate. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you won't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, it really does matter. Comment your reactions and feelings about this inspiring ending. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformative journey. This is the moment to show your support. You need to subscribe now. Don't wait not even one more second to share.